Hello, everyone. We're back and better than ever. I'm Mac.
Back in the sandwich.
Okay.
Oh god.
But everyone, we're back. It's another episode of Post to Post with your hosts, the Brothers of Discussion. It is I, Grayson, accompanied by my brother, Will. Hello, Will. How are you?
Doing well. Making it through. I'm feeling much better than last week. It was god awful last week, so that's why we didn't get anything out. We waited to record after the big AEW live show, but then right after that, I had the worst head cold, which I believe was brought on by that sweat lodge of an arena we went to.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
There is no ventilation.
If Bojangles' chicken was as spicy as their arena is hot, I would be in heaven. But it's not. All you get from the arena is you lose 6 pounds sweating, and then you get a nasty head cold that lasts for 3 days.
I had a fucking miserable drive, like the 3 hours after the event, and then on top of that, the lady was like, "Can we go to Cookout?" And I was like, "I guess." And we get there, and 30 minutes in line at Cookout.
That is par for the course.
Yep.
I can, let's see, from where I'm sitting right now, I can see the Cookout line, and it is wrapped all the way around the building and back into the road.
Speaking of Bojangles, Bojangles came out with a new chicken sandwich.
I saw our good buddy Weatherman, also on Legends contract, he tried it.
I've already had it, yeah. I got it the first day.
He was less than impressed, only because, I mean, in my opinion, I'm also right there with him. I haven't had this one yet, but for me, it's hard to beat the original Cajun filet, and that's what it replaced.
I thought it's kind of solid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try.
I mean, I don't get the Cajun filet. I always get a 3-piece with 2 sides.
I
one of them, so I could care less. And for me, I don't get the sandwich. I get a biscuit. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, the Cajun filet was the way to go. I'd have to see if when they added this new sandwich in, they also 86 the biscuit version of the Cajun filet, or if you can get this new sandwich on biscuit instead of bun.
I feel like the piece of chicken is probably too big for the biscuit, so that's probably a no. But
that's only if you're a quitter.
Cajun filet biscuit is still there.
Okay. Either way, definitely add that to our repertoire of chicken sandwich talk for our good boy Falcon. So let's get caught up on all the shit that has happened over the past, week and a half? 2 weeks since we recorded?
Yeah.
It's a bunch. A bunch.
It's an okay amount. There's some big news, but in terms of filler, in my opinion.
In terms of just tons of shit to talk about, no. But in terms of quality of shit to talk about, it's a lot of quality shit. So let's go ahead. I think we'll start with the house that Vince built, that old motherfucker, and we'll talk a little WWE because, in my opinion, it seems like they just keep shitting the bed lately. I know fans are bitching about things they're doing. They're bitching about the product that's being put out. All these things. And for every good thing they do, they take 6 steps backwards. What do you think has been their biggest mistake over the past couple weeks?
Continuing to let Nick Khan make decisions.
Fair. Out of those decisions.
Granted, that's specific. That is name dropping. So,
I was saying, out of those decisions.
I will say that he'd helped them make billions of dollars from USA Network and $1 billion from Fox on renewing those contracts or getting said contracts in place.
Mm-hmm.
But he should not be in charge of making decisions related to talent.
No, not at all. He's a business brain, not a talent brain.
Yes.
And in regards, I believe the biggest elephant in the room, talent-wise, would have to be the most left-field release that I never saw coming. Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, it was very surprising.
The Fiend.
No one knows what the main reason is.
I know.
They say budget cuts, but he's also going, if what I saw was right, he's got some mental health issues.
I could see that
could
maybe
be playing a factor. But
I know one of the go-to rumors is like creative differences.
oh yeah, I mean, well, that's been an issue from the beginning. He's never won a feud.
I know. It's like every time they do something right with him, they just start turning him into a fucking joke. It's sad. It's like I said last year when they debuted The Fiend, I was like, they're going to fuck this up. I hope they don't, but they are. And what it do? They fucked it up almost immediately. I mean, by almost immediately, I mean within 6 months. And that character, in my opinion, had been on life support ever since.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you know, it's been rumored, he never wins feuds. Like, it's always a good build-up, and then he loses the feud every time. I know. And he lost to Randy Orton twice at WrestleMania. How many times can you do that before people just, the mystique is gone? And and if it is true that he was starting to argue back about that shit, and well deserves it. He's the one who came up with that character. He did all the work. And then they're just like, no, you're going to lose every time. Yeah.
And then, crazy thing is Ronda Rousey's blaming the fans for it. She's blaming lack of fan support for The Fiend. I'm like, the hell? What kind of rock have you been living under? Every fucker I know, especially in the toy community, loves the shit out of The Fiend. Myself, I wasn't the biggest fan. I was like, cool, it's a good idea, and then they fucked it up, just like I said, so I wasn't going to jump on the bandwagon because I, previous experience told me not to. But every other person I know was all about it. I mean, his figures were damn near impossible to find. I think I saw the Ultimate Edition one in stores like maybe twice. I didn't buy them. I probably should have in the grand scheme of things if I wanted to capitalize on probably remorse buying that people are going to be having now that there will be no more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I did get the SummerSlam one, the regular style Elite, so I do have that, and I can maybe capitalize on that one. Maybe. But I almost foresee this being a release that they almost pull a Samoa Joe on.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, I found it weird that when he got released, they didn't say his real name. They said his stage name. So I don't know if his release is legit or not, and it's more of a way to A, rebuild the Fiend or a new character from Wyatt or a new debut, or B, gives them a reason not to contact him until maybe his mental health issues are done.
It could be. The other thing that I would almost say is going to be a driving factor in this possibly not being a full release a la Joe is how pissed off it made the TV execs they've got deals with.
Yeah, for sure. And
Like, they
also,
knew he was a massive draw.
He's a
And
massive merch seller. They fucking sold a $600 replica belt of his shitty belt.
yeah, his belt was fucking dumb, but they definitely sold the shit out of that thing.
Like, it was an ugly fucking belt. Now, if I had 600 just willy-nilly to throw at it, sure, I could drop into that pot just because, I have the money. And it doesn't matter. Yeah. But for me and my wallet, I didn't like it.
No, same. But I don't know. It's just another thing that boggles the mind.
For sure.
I mean, it's almost like they've got the inmates running the asylum, but if that were the case, it'd be a little bit better if the wrestlers were actually running the show with them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at least they know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, this next one...
You still need a businessman behind it to take care of the business, but story-wise, you could have that. That's why... I'm going to sound like everyone else. That's why I think AEW is doing right. They've got wrestlers sort of running shit. They also have the head honcho who's a fan and understands it and has the money behind it. Not just... Exactly. Maybe in like 20 years he'll probably get tired of it. Maybe Tony will be a new Vince and just like, whatever, I'm crotchety. But at this point, you still see the excitement behind it.
Yeah, exactly. I think they'll be fine. In terms of how they're running things, it's a much smarter operation. They're not just hiring, screenwriters to try and write wrestling programs.
Now, Prince Jr. was a godsend.
Now, Freddie Prinze Jr. being a fan made sense, but when you're just hiring some regular jackoff that, wishes they were writing for TV to write a wrestling show, it doesn't really translate. It's a different type of TV. Now, while we're still on the topic of releases, another one that kind of caught me by surprise, but at the same time, I'm also kind of like, whatever. Old Ricky Boy, the Nature Boy himself, has been let go.
That doesn't matter to me, like at all. I have no fucks to give on that one.
I really don't either.
What's the point of him being there, anyways? It was to do a shitty storyline with Lacey Evans, and then that got dropped because it was useless.
Creepy as fuck.
Homegirl got pregnant.
Yeah.
Pregnant thing. That's
no.
Just saying in general.
It was just a trashy way to play on Rick's less than savory past character.
Yes.
And that was a shitty idea. But with his release, he himself believes it stems from a text message that he sent to Vince McMahon complaining about their booking of Charlotte.
Stay the fuck out of it, because Charlotte's had enough fucking things to do.
Yeah, shit. If anything, I hope that there's blowback on Charlotte, because I just don't fucking like her. In wrestling terms, either. I mean, I'll give her credit for being talented, but just because
I'll give her the credit that she is one of the best women's wrestlers on the market, 100%.
But she has the personality of a wet sheet of cardboard.
So.
And the character depth of a mud puddle.
Yeah, I don't really... She hasn't had any sort of, shtick or anything. It's just...
Her character's been a cheap knockoff of her dad's persona since day one.
I wouldn't go that far. It's, it's the robe, the music, and the special. All of that's stolen, 100%. But, I don't know. If you're gonna do that, you might as well go full-blownsies and make her, trailing for dudes all the time. Actually, that'd be hilarious. Do that.
It would be pretty funny.
Want that
There you go. There's you an idea from the fans, you motherfuckers.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote fans. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I mean, if that's why he got fired, fuck it. It is what it is. It just shows how petty Vince is and how, shitty Charlotte's character is if her dad thinks it needs to step in.
Well, the problem with them is, it's kind of just shitting on all the other talent. You're not giving anyone a chance to do anything because Charlotte just has to have the belt.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how I'm seeing it.
That's why I'm so glad I heard that she got beat Monday.
Yes. And that's why I'm like, I agree to an extent. At the same time, go buy your own fucking company and hire your daughter.
Yeah.
You want her to be like the only champion ever. Do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Just start some little podunk indie in Georgia where he lives now.
Mm-hmm. He's not in Flair country.
Yeah, new Flair country. And just have her come and do one-off appearances and be the perma title holder. Done. Now, things that have come from this. I heard that the NWA almost immediately offered him a deal right after it was announced.
Yeah. And
which,
they bored him, no offense.
From a historical standpoint, it's a smart move.
Yep.
From a Ric Flair standpoint, he'd be taking a hefty pay cut. Now, the other thing that I thought about is the impetus and opening for a Four Horsemen reunion.
I don't want
I'm not talking about from a performing standpoint. I'm talking almost just some sort of weird one-off quasi-managerial type thing where we finally see that what we've hoped forever, that Arn would finally turn heel or some shit.
Yeah. I don't want it.
I would like to see it as a gimmick because, hell, they even had J.J. Dillon on there on that one show. So, if you had Flair, J.J., Arn, and Tully show up, that's pretty solid go-round right there. That's basically one iteration of Horseman minus, if I get my timing right, I could be wrong on this, and if someone who's much more versed in this wants to correct me on the Facebook page, Twitter, or whatever, please, by all means, do it. If I remember right, JJ, I think he was around both when Ole was still there, with the OG first iteration Horseman, and I think he was around when Wyndham first showed up. So, he's technically a Horseman from a managerial standpoint. I could see that being something that happens. I'm hoping AEW doesn't sign him because, to me, that's just pissing money away. Just bring him in for a one-off, call it a day.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that at least, I guess. But I'm good. I'm personally. Mainly because I'm just over Ric Flair, and I was never the biggest Flair fan to begin with.
No. I can respect him for what he's done, but he's just... I don't know.
I respect him because of Charles Robinson.
Yeah.
That's as nice as I can gripe with that.
Let's just say the gimmick's worn thin over the years. It's a bit threadbare.
I don't need to see him on my wrestling screen because I can just see him on 1,000 commercials doing the exact same thing.
It's true. It's true. It's true. I doubt we'll ever see him chop Eli Drake ever again. Or LA Knight, rather. But that's what I'm hearing. Now, the next odd thing, and I wonder if they're going to slip up. We've got a big contract that's expiring soon.
Oh, yeah.
A big one.
One can only dream.
I know, a man can dream. And honestly, with the way they're going right now, and his wifey being champ, and all his old buddies being champs as well, why the fuck not?
Why the fuck not? I mean, plus they could probably keep the BTE thing going. I thought you died.
Yeah, something along those lines. Because, I mean, Marty killed him when he showed up, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
But, I mean, it would just... If it's a matter of pay that he's worried about, it's Tony Khan money.
Tony Khan money is, the best money right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that old Tony could make Adam Cole lush. I mean, they're not hurting right now with Britt being big time in AEW and then him doing so well in NXT for so long. But I would almost bet he could get a more lucrative deal with AEW and it would just work. I mean, they broke up his big-ass team. He's been doing decently, but at the same time, without the Undisputed Era behind him, it just doesn't seem like Adam Cole has had as much steam.
I'm not sure. I think he's still got the same amount of steam, just because he's still in all the story arcs. He's still in sort of the title picture. He's still running the feud a little bit with Kyle O'Reilly. I still haven't gotten what I want, which is the big blow-off of, like, everyone from the Undisputed Era just fighting with each other in a big fatal four-way or something like that.
Is Bobby Fish currently injured again?
I don't know. I mean,
because that's usually what stops everything.
It is safe to assume.
Yeah, that's usually what stops anything Undisputed Era dead in its tracks is Bobby Fish.
Yes. The new Roderick's in the diamond mine or whatever.
Yeah.
And, Kyle and Cole were feuding there for a bit. But Bobby Fish, it's probably just hanging back drinking beers. Like, you guys fight it out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that he, dips out. I really am. Ride his contract out and then just sign one with AEW so that way you don't have to tell them shit. You just, like, the last night you're on fucking NXT, then next week you're on Dynamite.
I think at this time, I don't really want anyone to go to NXT. I don't care who it is. I don't want anyone there. Not because they don't deserve it or, it's, poor or anything like that. It's more of just, I think this is also a ploy to fuck up AEW's finances by dropping all these people who do have fairly lucrative contracts, and then AEW figured out have to pay that during a pandemic and not making the sort of TV deal money, Saudi deal money that they have, and kind of hurting them in that manner.
True. That's a real
shot.
long. Yeah, that's a real long
but
format.
But at the same time, it's people who, I mean, they could technically do without. I don't agree with that thought, but they could. Wyatt hasn't been there for months. Strowman kind of ran his course.
Yep.
Joe, he, even though they brought him back, he was on commentary and he's been injured with concussion issues.
Mm-hmm.
Need that. The Iconics, who gives a shit? Oh,
yeah,
that's a lie.
And I care
about one of them.
Yeah, rumor is that they could be Britt's bodyguards.
That would be fucking hilarious. I hope not.
Yeah.
Because they would be just. Because I would just see them as the Iconics, and I would just go, "These are some terrible bodyguards."
I know, right?
I would rather it be Ruby.
Oh god, that would be perfect.
Because bringing in a bodyguard, they need to be a badass, and I don't think Chatty Cathy is gonna do it. Whereas silent punk rocker with an attitude might sell it.
Agreed. I mean, she posted a pretty surly looking Instagram post just recently with her at a bar and a drink.
And her new hair, it's red.
Yeah. I was like, there you go. Granted, I don't approve of Genesee, but hey, there you go. Could have got a bit of beer than that. Come on. Again, all speculation. I am hoping that Cole doesn't re-sign. I hope he's already kind of, in talks with other people. I mean, even if I think to get the money, if he's in it for the money, to get what he wants, AEW's the place to go for money. If he wants to do shit for fun, like he did back in the day, I would say ROH or Impact. Probably ROH, most likely. But if he did Impact, then he could still, work AEW, work New Japan, work Impact. He could still do 3 things in one spot. If he did AEW, he could sort of do that. It'd be more like just him back and forth between Impact if he did it. Maybe a little in New Japan. But ROH, it would just be there and maybe New Japan. Possibly some PWG stuff. It just really depends on what he wants to do. Now, other things. Apparently there's some pretty funny semi-interruptions going on at Raw the other night. A couple different times. The fans being loud enough to make the news, the wrestling news outlets. One, when Damian Priest was being interviewed on Miz's little talk show, the fans were chanting CM Punk loud enough to be heard.
Good.
I mean, they were in Chicago, so it makes sense that they would start doing that. Especially after all the rumors from the past week or two.
Mm-hmm.
And then, also on the same show, Oldberg came out, and they pretty much guaranteed that one match that we pretty much knew about ahead of time at SummerSlam, Goldberg versus Lashley. They were chanting, "We want Wyatt," really, really loudly. So, going back to what I said before, and the massive fuck up for releasing Bray and such, the fans didn't want it. The fans don't want Goldberg there. I don't want Goldberg there, regardless to how much I enjoyed him as a kid. I agree with almost every news outlet. Goldberg is so far past his prime, it's pointless.
Yeah.
It does nothing for me. Even the nostalgia pop is gone. That pop was gone 2 or 3 fucking years ago when they did it the first time. They're doing that thing where they dip into the same well too many times.
Yeah, and it's kind of a tribute to kind of showing just how little they trust their current talent.
I know.
Let them lead the show, so to speak.
You've got old part-time talent. You've got Cena and Reigns going at it here pretty soon. I'm not going to, besmirch Edge at all, but again, he's one of those older talents now, and he's been in the main event picture for the past year, it feels like.
Oh yeah, for sure. I didn't need Edge. Don't need him.
I like him.
I love Edge.
No.
Let me get that out of the way. I love Edge.
Uh-huh.
I don't need it. He doesn't need to be on my screen because, I mean, you're going to tell me this motherfucker came from career-threatening injury, pushing his 50s, and he's able to keep up with these guys?
I mean, it's a feel-good story,
100%.
but that's all it is. I mean, would I like to see Edge get a one-off and be done? Sure, fuck it, whatever. If they did it in a way that made fucking sense. And the only way I could see it making any fucking sense is if Edge had won a briefcase.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't happen until next year.
Yes.
And is that going to happen next year? I guarantee you it fucking won't.
It's just, I'm firmly on the, I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm firmly on the Edge side. Because he has been very talented since his return. But Goldberg?
Yeah.
Like, why is this dude still getting, like, all his things? Like, I get he's on, like, some sort of contract, but, like, everything he's done is just trash.
I know.
Like, the dude almost killed The Undertaker.
Yeah, no shit.
I don't know anymore. I used to know wrestling, and now I'm just becoming a crotchety old man. I'm starting to become Jim Cornette, and that feels terrible.
Oh boy. Leo Corny. Well, let's go to happier topics for a moment. Move away from WWE because it's just a depressing shithole where they make terrible decisions. And you know, it's funny. I told myself weeks ago, I was like, I'm not going to talk as much shit about WWE as I usually do because it makes me seem like a fucking one-hit wonder. I'm just like,
did they just turn around and do all this shit that just makes you want to bitch?
I know. I've got a bitch because, I mean, fuck. I want to watch them again. I do because, you know, I have fond memories of the past. But they have a writing team that couldn't write to save their lives. And then they have an executive team that just likes to trim fat.
And the
That's
fat
the
doesn't
good
even
fat.
need to be trimmed.
They trim the good fat, not the bad fat. So let's go on to let's talk about New Japan a little bit because I think it'll segue best into our last topic, which is going to be our main one that we'll rant about for a while. We're going to save the best for last today, but it's fucking New Japan. You know, not a lot's been going on. They're doing their summer thing where they have 1,000,001 shows because New Japan, again, they put on wrestling as if it is a sporting event. And I like that angle. They make it seem like sport. They make every match seem like anyone could win at any moment, even though a lot of times you can't tell who's going to win. But they don't always win with the classic setup then finisher combo that we see so much in American wrestling. And, you know, fuck. If I'm explaining this to people that already know, I'm preaching to the choir. Fuck, but who knows? Maybe we got someone new that doesn't know New Japan and they need a little update. But New Japan's the only place where I've seen people fucking win with a just goddamn, like, nasty-ass power bomb to a roll-up. Or just they scoop them off the ropes and they roll them up and they get a win. Like, they win with, like, legit, like, out-finesse wrestling moves sometimes. It's wonderful.
Yes.
But anyway, to dive into New Japan, some fun things that I've heard. One, due to all the hype about CM Punk's current return, which I guess I'll just give up the ghost on this one since everyone already knows. I was going to save for AEW segment, but big rumor. Almost, I'll give it, for your sake, Grayson, I'll give it 85% confirmation. That sound good to you?
It is a 0% confirmation.
I'm going to give it 85%.
Shows up on my screen because it's been 7.5 years. He's been rumored to sign to every single thing in the world, and he's never shown up. He is not showing up until he is on my TV screen. He could come out and say, yes, I signed a contract. I'm 100% showing up on this day at this time on this event. And I still would not believe it until I saw him on TV.
Well, I'm still going to give it 85%. But with all the news, apparently Kenta has come out and said he wants to challenge CM Punk. Now, mind you, the big rumor is CM Punk has signed to AEW. Kenta's performed on AEW.
Yes.
Kenta and CM Punk have a long-standing rivalry as to who lays claim to controlling interest of the go to sleep.
Sorry, CM Punk, but it's Kenta.
I want this. I want it to happen. If Punk is legit in AEW, I want them to bring Kenta back and have a stateside crossover show where it's a be-all, end-all, or even a best out of 3. I don't give a fuck how they do this series, but I want one of them to walk away the definitive GTS power broker, more or less. The owner of the move. Don't let the other one not use it. Unless they already had a different finisher from before and they could resurrect that, who knows? But whoever wins it gets the bragging rights.
I think it should be this is my move, no one can use it.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather have that. I like that idea. And then,
I mean, no one uses it except Danhausen because both of them gave Danhausen their blessing.
Yes, Danhausen can use it all day long.
Yeah.
But then, if we wanted, he still has the Anaconda Vice.
Mm-hmm.
So he could easily just go right back to that move. And I feel like he had another one. And I cannot remember if I'm just misremembering history or not.
Yeah.
But he still has that in his arsenal, which, used in ECW and WWE. Killed that for me too.
Yeah. But that is one dream match that I would like to see happen. And it's already got a pretty much pre-written story for them to make it work. I mean, is it the deepest story in the world? No, but it's almost like grudge match caliber. Because apparently they've been at each other for years because of it. And that alone makes it work. And plus, it's fucking Kenta and CM Punk.
Yes. It'd be one fucking barn burner of a match.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now, other great news. The man, the legend, the greatest skinny wrestler of all time, fucking Cheeseburger, has pretty much said that he believes, because he was asked whether he thinks ROH and New Japan's partnership is still a thing. He's like, yeah, he definitely does. He just thinks like we haven't seen a lot of it because ROH is focusing on getting their shit together here instead of sending people all over the place. But when you think about the ROH people performing on the stateside New Japan, on Strong, etc., that pretty much confirms Cheeseburger talk. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to see Cheeseburger back in action in Japan.
I'd be down for some cheese.
I want to see him throw some shotes.
I like Cheeseburger. I never expect him to win, though.
No, but I always fucking root for him every fucking time.
Yes.
Because it's fucking Cheeseburger and he looks like he's having a blast.
Yeah, he's fun. He's just a fun character to watch.
Yep. 100%. So, other things that happen. If you remember recently, we did make some predictions on Wrestle Grand Slam. The last show we recorded. We'll go over those real quick. At Wrestle Grand Slam, we had the following matches. We had Shingo versus, it was going to be Ibushi, but Ibushi was still suffering from some illness. It was confirmed that it was not due to a reaction to the COVID vaccine, as previously reported. It was something else. He was just sick. So, Kota Ibushi was subbed out with Hiroshi Tanahashi. Then we had Naito and Sonata versus Dangerous Tekkers. Okada versus Jeff Cobb. El Desperado versus Robbie Eagles. And then you had Bone Soldier and El Phantasmo versus the Mega Coaches. So, starting off, Bullet Club for life. We were correct. Bone Soldier and El Phantasmo beat the Mega Coaches. It was kind of expected. But it is what it is. El Phantasmo is always going to put on a great show. He did a springboard moonsault from the top rope over the barricade, and while doing it, threw the 2 sweet with both hands. So he called it the 2 sweet salt. That dude is fucking crazy athletic. That's all I can say. Next, we had the match that surprised me more than anything, and also shows you how hard it is to predict New Japan. We had El Desperado versus Robbie Eagles. Robbie Eagles has a black mark in our book because he turned his back on Bullet Club and dipped out.
And he just was a weak-ass member.
True, but he was still better than a bunch of the other weak-ass members of Bullet Club. You know, our Cody Halls, our Bone Soldier V1, Jeff Jarrett. The list goes on.
Jeff Jarrett.
Well, I never expected this one in a million years. I would never have put Robbie Eagles over El Desperado. But they did. He beat Desperado with a submission. He got him to tap out, which is almost worse. However, news has come to light recently that Hiromu Takahashi is medically cleared to compete again. And those of you that follow the show know from a previous episode late last year, or early this year, I believe it was late last year, Hiromu injured himself again.
Yeah.
And so they put up the junior tag belt in a tournament, and El Desperado won it. Well, Robbie Eagles winning the belt, Hiromu being medically cleared, sounds like somebody's a transitional champion.
One can only dream.
Because, I don't see Robbie Eagles being put over Hiromu at all.
Hell,
And
I've been wrong before.
I have as well, but this is a little different than El Desperado. What it does now is it kind of completes the story arc of El Desperado, of the curse of someone that held both the junior tag and the junior heavyweight belt at the same time. They always tend to lose them both. It completes that story arc, and it allows him to go back to compete. Competing for the junior tag belts again. That match between Hiromu and Robbie Eagles is set up for the next Wrestle Grand Slam at the MetLife Dome in September. So we will see that match happen. Also, other things. Okada versus Cobb was another match. Jeff Cobb of the United Empire. He took the L against Okada in their little feud, which was bound to happen because they had a pretty steady run against Okada recently. So it was bound to happen that Okada was going to get a win. It'd been a minute.
Yeah.
The other big match, Naito and Sonata versus Dangerous Tekkers. Naito and Sonata just won those belts. Well, they just lost them again. So Dangerous Tekkers have become the heavyweight tag team champions. And they've defended a few times already, because this was, again, last Not last weekend, weekend before last. So, good for them.
Good, I guess.
I mean, I like Zack Sabre Jr. Tai Chi.
I like ZSJ, but you know my
I know your thoughts on Tai Chi. And we both have the same opinion of Tai Chi. He just needs a few gimmick fixes to address, and then he'll be okay. And then finally...
Plug in the mic.
Yeah, just get a fucking plug for it, and you'll be okay. And then finally, Shingo versus Tanahashi. We did pick Shingo to win, and we were correct. So, we got 2 matches out of 5 correct. Yeah, we did so good.
That's pretty good for a New Japan show.
Yeah, it's not terrible for a New Japan show. Not at all. But as soon as it gets a little closer, I know they've got some preliminary card looks for excuse me, for the next Wrestle Grand Slam up already, but I'm going to wait till it's a little closer before I drop anything because I want to make sure that nothing changes too much. The only thing I think, the only one I think safe enough to talk about is Robbie Eagles versus Hiromu.
Yeah, I feel like it's safe.
Yeah. The next New Japan show coming up, though, is on New Japan Strong, and it's New Japan Resurgence. And at that show, we've got a nice little card going. We've got Archer versus Tanahashi, which we saw that challenge laid down at AEW last Wednesday night live through video package. We've got Jay White versus David Finlay because just recently on Impact Wrestling, Jay White challenged him because he was tired of Finlay coming after him and his never open weight belt. He was tired of all his bullshit, so he formally challenged him. Then we've got the Good Brothers versus Jon Moxley and a mystery partner.
Sami Callihan.
It would make sense. I'm secretly hoping it's his sidekick from New Japan.
No, not big enough.
I think, what was it, Shota Umino?
Yeah.
Little Death Rider?
I think it's going to be Sam. It's going to be Sami Callihan. It's the only one that kind of fits the bill.
It makes perfect sense, especially...
And they're doing their warm-up match in California.
There you go, then. It could very well be him. I mean, I'll be fine either way. I would like to see Little Death Rider come back, but at the same time, if Mox gets teamed with Little Death Rider, Mox isn't going to win.
Yeah.
They don't normally put over any team that has a young lion on it.
And why would you do a young lion to do this match? Like, that's supposed to be a big deal.
It's true. It's true. Next, you've got a 3-man tag match. I always forget the proper terms. Could be 6-man. I don't fucking know. It's 3 versus 3. Whatever. I always get the terminology fucked up on these. I swear it feels like it changes all the time. But anyway, you got Rocky Romero, Fred Rosser, and AEW's Wheeler Yuta versus TJP, Ren Narita, and Clark Connors. Here's the only problem with this. Narita and Connors are still technically young lions. Narita is on excursion, so he's like young lion plus. As soon as his excursion's done, he'll not be considered young lion anymore. But, as I said before, I don't believe any team with a young lion ever wins. But I have high hopes for that match because that's pretty good. I really want to see TJP and Wheeler Yuta go at it.
Be fun.
Let's see. Yeah, because I like Wheeler Yuta. He has ingratiated himself with me almost immediately. I like the way he wrestles. The only thing I think he needs to fix is I think he needs to make his ring attire match that sweet-ass jacket he wears in. And then the last match, or which would technically be the opener, you've got Alex Coughlin versus Carl Fredericks. Two young lions for the U.S. side of New Japan that are damn good from the LA Dojo. So, let's go ahead and knock out some predictions. Coughlin and Fredericks, who you got?
I'll go Fredericks.
If you had gone the other way, I would have told you no, switch that around, because Carl Fredericks is a fucking monster.
I know.
Exactly.
This is an amateur hour over here, despite my 2 wins last week.
All right. Rocky Rosser and Yuta, or TJP, Narita, and Connors?
Who was with Narita?
TJP and Clark Connors.
Oh. I must have misheard this match. I thought you read 4 people as a 4-man tag match.
No, it's Rocky Romero, Fred Rosser, and Wheeler Yuta. And then the 3
that's tough. Okay, that's tough. I feel like they could do Rocky because he's sort of on a tear.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, TJP, I'll go Rocky.
Yeah, I was going to go with Team Rocky just because they also do not have a young lion on their team.
This is true.
While TJP has 2. Well, I'm going to say 1.5. So I'm going RRY. You're going RRY as well. I want to see TJP and, Yuta do their thing, which I think they will. But I don't think TJP is going to get a W out of this one.
No. Has he even gotten a win yet?
In New Japan? In New Japan, yeah, he's won before because he's been working with them for a while.
Okay. I don't know. I just keep... They don't tell me he's homeless, so I have no idea.
I haven't heard him mention that in a while. All right, Good Brothers versus Mox and the Mystery. Or Mox and Callahan, as you want to call it. Who you got?
Go Mox Callahan.
Okay. I'm going to go Devil's Advocate. I'm going to go the Good Brothers.
I mean, it just makes sense to give them a win in some way, shape, or form. Because, Mox lost the belt to Kenny and feuded, and they lost that feud. And now Sammy lost to Kenny, recently. So it's just going to make sense. Now we come together and we beat, arguably the weaker unit of the Elite.
True. But at the same time, the Good Brothers haven't been back for very long.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense for them to also get a W there. So
it would it'd have to be a shiesty W.
Yeah.
They do.
I mean, if it's a shiesty W,
Callahan, you stick with Good Brothers. One of us will get it right.
Yeah. If it's a shiesty W, I would love for Kenny to cost Mox and them the match. It would be beautiful. All right, Jay White versus Finlay. I'm going with Jay.
Yeah.
Because 1, Bullet Club for Life. 2, it's David Finlay.
Yeah.
I like him more in a tag team capacity. And then finally, Lance Archer versus Tanahashi.
Archer.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this could be where the true Forbidden Door fully happens. And sets Mox up to challenge.
Could be.
And it finally gives, Lance Archer something. But I don't know.
What it's going to do, I think, is if Archer is not the one that wins and they give it to Tana, what that's going to do, it's also going to make Tanahashi a Grand Slam champion.
Yes.
And that's going to piss off Jay White. Because that's his bragging rights currently. So I would see that turning into those two and a race to get the new major, like, top belt.
Mm-hmm.
So that way one of them becomes the first to hold, like, first new Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
So just because of the promo and him saying he's never held that belt before, I'm going to go with Tana. But I'm going to secretly kind of hope that Archer keeps it. That's just the way I'm going to go with an interesting angle that could come from it to base my decision on, but from a preferred wrestler standpoint at this time, I'm going to still secretly hope that Archer wins, and it proves me wrong.
That's fair.
Yourself, you still sticking with Archer, or?
I'll say the Ace. I like my story arc.
Was that Archer and Mox again?
Yeah, I'll go with that story arc.
All right, works for me. All right. And now that we've covered that, the last little bit of fun New Japan news, which works as a good segue over to AEW. Tama Tonga has vowed revenge for Hikuleo's loss on Dynamite last week.
Oh, god damn it, I forgot about that. Because that could just be setting up a Tama getting the fucking belt and rubbing it in the face of fucking AEW people. Like, this the best you fucking got?
That would be marvelous, because there's not many people that I enjoy hearing talk quite as much as Tama Tonga.
Mm-hmm.
Having just heard Tama's vow of vengeance against the wrongs committed on his brother Hikuleo at AEW Dynamite last week, what do we think is going to come of that?
I don't know. Just mentioned, it's not going to go with it. That makes you wonder if Lance Archer will win so he can challenge Archer for the fucking belt.
It's true. I think that would probably be a smart move in one way. And if he beat Tama, it would still make a stateside performer look big. But at the same time, since Tama's also technically from the States and competes here a lot on Strong, it would make sense as well if he won. But where would they have that show? Would they have it on a American-based program, or would they have it on an episode or one of the New Japan outfits?
If Tama has it, I feel like it'd be a New Japan show.
Yeah.
If it's Lance, it would probably be AEW. As I mentioned, it could be part of the setup of DC versus Heat.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it's a little early to start going down that road, just because, Delta COVID's flaring up.
Uh-huh.
If it's shut down, they'll just stop it, and then any momentum they have is gone.
Yeah, but it'd be smart to play it a little safe at first. Not get too far down a good storyline just to have it fizzle out. So yeah, I could get behind either one. I feel like it'd be a good reason to get Archer in Japan competing there again. Because if he has that belt, that means they're open to it.
Yeah.
Now, what I think is, well, actually, no, let me circle back just a little bit. A couple little bits of news that I think we can hit before we dive into talking about last week's Dynamite. One, the episode of AEW Rampage Chicago. Tickets went on sale the other day. Sold out in 5 fucking minutes.
Back to Stella City.
Yep. I still think that has to do with the Darby promo more than anything else.
No problem.
Could also have to do with the fact that it's going to be a full all-out weekend with both, I think, Dynamite, Rampage, and All Out happening that week. And people being able to get package tickets for all three, if I remember correctly. But I like seeing AEW sell shit out.
Agree.
It's always good. Next, AEW filed a trademark on the King of Hearts, and it is spelled Harts. The only King of Hearts is Owen. His wife owns the merchandising rights to that name through their foundation that was formed in his name. So, are they working some sort of angle here?
That's hard. I feel like it's tough to say that.
This is one that it confuses me because I really can't think of a way for them to make it work.
I can't either.
I can't think of anything because the only heart in their locker room is Julia. And she's not a heart in that regard.
Apparently, according to the Acclaimed.
Oh boy! We'll talk about that in a minute. Those are 2 little bits of news. Oh shit, I marked that the wrong one.
Hell, they could be bringing in his son? How old is his son now?
Oj is old enough. But, I mean, from what Martha Hart was saying, his kids have, never really given a shit about wrestling.
Yeah, then I have no idea.
I mean, if that were to happen, that'd be kind of cool. If he came in even as just an on-air personality, I'd be fine with that too. But didn't he finish college and become a lawyer or some shit?
I don't know, probably, but at the same time, there's no way for them.
I don't know. This is one of the little tidbits of news that I find the most intriguing because I can't for the life of me think of a way for them to make it work in a way that wouldn't piss them off.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it directly has to do with them.
Yes.
That's the only way. Well, everything else that I'd want to talk about fits nicely into our talk about the live show we were able to go to last week. And if you remember way back when we first started the episode, we talked about that sweat box that is Bojangles Coliseum.
Oh my god. And then you could just still see the fireworks smoke from the very first pyro.
No shit. All the pyro smoke was just hovering in the top of the arena. They had no ventilation turned on. I could only imagine how fucked it felt for anyone performing in the ring. I mean, but then again, they've wrestled in fucking Jacksonville, Florida humidity for the past year and a half.
Oh yeah, dude, this was probably a vacation.
Yeah, it was hot as balls to us, but I mean, it wasn't Florida balls. So I can safely say that was one of the best wrestling shows I've been to.
Yeah, that was a fucking hellaciously good fucking event.
And even better, I was hoping they would do higher ratings. But what was it, 1.1 or 1.3 million?
Yeah, something like that. That's still good.
Yeah, it's really good.
I thought it was 1.18.
That could be it. I feel like someone said 1.3, but I had, like, most recently, I feel like I read that it was a 1.1 something. So I wanted to just cover my bases.
It could be adding the DVR, because that gets counted later.
True. I was hoping they'd hit 2.
Yeah.
I really was, because, I mean, goddamn, what a night.
For sure.
If anyone that follows our Facebook page would know that I pretty much spoiled all the matches coming up for Dark Elevation and tonight's regular Dark.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Same thing on the Instagram.
And I was there.
Posted every good picture I could find. And some of the videos.
I still love the Elite entrance.
Oh, the Space Jam entrance and then the sweet-ass cowboy shit entrance were two of the best moments of the night. Just the shitty dribbling of the Elite was gold.
Oh my god, it was so funny. And then them shooting fucking baskets. It's like, alright. It went off for like 5 minutes.
I was amazed that until the Meltzer dunk, no one missed any shots.
I felt like I thought Kenny missed a free throw.
I thought that may have been Cutler.
It may have been. Someone missed a free throw. And I don't know if you've seen BTE, but they didn't miss.
Say what?
I don't know if you've seen BTE or not, but they didn't miss that shot.
Creative editing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's more of they know they missed, but they're just selling it like they didn't.
Oh, I know. Every video clip conveniently doesn't go high enough to see the ball rim out.
Yeah.
Hell, I wish they had made it because it would have made it that much better.
They made it in practice. They showed their practice stuff, and he did it, and it went in. So yeah, we got it.
Things that I'm happy about from that night. One, finally getting to see a Thunder Rosa match.
Yes.
She destroyed that girl.
Yeah.
Riggedy, rigged. 2, even though I was momentarily in the line with you at the Bojangles thing, I was able to walk down the tunnel and see Miro come out for a second.
Yeah, so I missed the Miro thing, getting the grubbage for the lady and I.
Yeah. I only saw it for a split second, so I didn't see that it was just like a quick promo package. I thought he had a match. And
that's good, I guess.
I'm glad that when I got back, I found she told us it was just a promo. I was like, okay, cool. But also, damn it. Apparently that little promo, I believe, is going to be on one of the Darks. I think Elevation. It was on Elevation on Monday.
Pretty much he's trying to get challengers, and he announced a match.
Yep. Was it one of the brothers?
No, I forgot who it was. I don't think it was like a big name or anything.
Well, they're kind of doing it right with him. They're doing kind of what they did when they first brought Archer in, just having him crush developmental talent and just making him look like a beast. And I'm for it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fucking for it. Because as of right now, he has the most fun promos and video packages of anybody.
I mean, he does have a double jointed wife.
I know. He loves God and he loves his double-jointed wife. What else is there?
Absolutely nothing.
I mean, next thing you know, I was going to make a Conan joke. I was like, nah, fuck that. I don't want to make a Conan joke. And so, not Conan as in that Conan. I mean, Conan as in Schwarzenegger Conan.
Yes.
But I was like, nah, an accent joke is going to be too on the nose. It's too easy. What did you think was match of the night?
Well, it sucks because I didn't get to see the Lance Archer Hikuleo show because fucking the lady running the bar where I was getting a beer because it was so balls hot, which by the way is a poor decision in itself because beer dehydrates you. But let's just say if it was a race between the tortoise and the hare, she was slower than the tortoise.
Oh boy.
But she didn't win the race. They fucking lapped the bitch.
Oh boy.
It took so fucking long. And I just got a single beer, but like it took like 5 minutes just for my one beer because you tell her and then she just sort of like stand there for a second, turn around very slow, grab it, ask for your card, take your card. And she did it to everybody. It wasn't just me. Take your card. Then open the drink, and then look around at her coworker, and then come back and realize you have to do the card stuff. Hands you back your card, and then you had to do it.
Oh God.
It took so long, and I was like, I should have known that I had to pay for it because I watched her do it with 3-4 other people. But regardless. Honestly, man, I think Nick Gage and Jericho stole it.
I agree.
That was the match, like, I don't know. I never thought I'd ever see Nick Gage wrestle in my life.
I didn't either. And especially on fucking national television.
I know, right? Of all...
I still haven't gone and actually watched the televised version of this Dynamite.
Oh, I haven't either. I want to because I want to listen to the commentary. I heard they kept saying how the ref in the Elite match, I forgot his name, bald guy.
Oh, yeah.
Is a paid ref or...
I mean, fuck, you... To sidetrack, you know he is, because Evil Uno got a fucking 3 count on fucking... What was it? Was it Nick or Matt?
He was Nick.
He got a goddamn 3 count. And I was just like, what the fuck? He's eliminated, but he was still doing shit. It pissed me the fuck off. I mean, I love the Elite, I do, and it makes sense. But
it's probably just a mishap on that in that regard.
I hope that it just plays more into the paid ref angle. I think that would work better.
Well, I think on BTE there's a thing where they handed him money. Oh, and the fucking Domino's thing.
Oh, yeah.
We were going back and forth on it. I feel like it was the pizza cutter was first, and then the Domino's commercial. But, we didn't watch the live stream. And when I watch it on Fight, so I wouldn't have commercials regardless. But
yeah, I watch
Domino's commercial.
I watch it on DVR, so I'd have the commercials, so I could find this out for sure if I had watched it. But, I mean... 9 times out of 10, if I'm there live, I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah. Beyond
just wanting to see the commentary, I know the outcome of everything. So that's part of the reason, but I may still do it. But the crazy thing, WWE and their ad execs or whoever the fuck it is, allegedly, rumor has it, that they're trying to put a bad word in to sponsors about AEW by using the pizza cutter spot and its timing with the Domino's ad as an example of how bad they are to do business with.
But Will, they don't see AEW as competition.
No, not at all. I mean, they don't see AEW as competition, but if you're actively trying to sabotage someone like that, then doesn't that make them competition?
Yes.
But Jericho's rebuttal, he doesn't see the WWE as competition, which makes sense, because they're not out there trying to sabotage the WWE. They're just out there trying to fucking put on a wrestling show. Now, given the Jericho and Gage match, the joke of the night is all the hepatitis. I mean, fuck. With that match, they literally peeled the entire canvas up and a liner underneath the canvas and rolled that bitch up and threw it away before they went on with the show. Damn. I mean, if I remember right, that was just before they transitioned over to regular dark, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I know if you saw the videos posted on the various social media outlets for the show, I would have liked to have gotten it closer. But stupid ass me, I slid my thumb the wrong direction, so I set it on goddamn landscape or portrait mode fucking photo or video, so I couldn't zoom in, and I didn't catch it until after the fact, so I couldn't zoom in on it. But you still get to see Jericho's Hurricane run off the top ropes and engage through the pane of glass.
Yes, which was.
I wanted to zoom in, but I fucked up and hit the wrong video thing. But I didn't expect to see that many light tubes.
I didn't expect to see any.
And I really didn't expect to see Gage tattoo Jericho's forehead with them.
For sure. Like, it was
that right there.
Surprising.
Man. The other part, I don't know if you were watching this close, like him outside the ring, I can't tell if Gage was playing off the character that well, or if he was legit pissed off.
It's hard to know with Nick Gage.
I know, because he just looked fucking angry after that match. But then again, with that fucked up grill, he always looks angry.
He could have had like a slight thing that just pissed him off, but he's working with Jericho. You got to be professional. Yeah,
because I mean, when Aubrey Edwards tried to go over there and talk to him, I guess maybe it was something like checking for injuries. He just kept, just angrily like brushing her away, arm-wise. But when everyone cheered and applauded for him on his way out, I think, that made him super happy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he real skeezy, but he put on a damn good show. Damn good. And all the people making the jokes about him and his hepatitis, myself included, there's no way they would let him wrestle if he had any sort of bloodborne illness.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's
no way in hell. I guarantee you he was tested 6 ways from Sunday. But that was a standout match. The announcement right after that of Jericho's next being a high-flying match against Hoovy.
It's going to be sick.
Talk about another blast from the past. I'm like, holy
I don't
shit.
understand why he said 15 years, though.
How do you mean?
WCW hasn't been on TNT in like 20.
Oh.
NJF says this time coming back to TNT after 15 years.
That's a good question.
So like a random match I don't know about.
On what?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's probably just a stupid hiccup. Yeah. I bet what it was. Did Hoovy wrestle WWE?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
And it wouldn't have been on TNT.
I know that, but I mean, that would be the only way I would imagine Jericho and Hoovy having a match. Since 15 years ago, that would have been 2006. And so maybe they had a match in 2006, but maybe MJF got his facts kind of mixed up.
Or maybe it was deliberate since he didn't actually know who he was to begin with.
True. Now, one thing about Wednesday night that was surprising is I only saw, from my standpoint, a handful of botches.
Yeah, there wasn't many. There was a couple.
No. There was the really, really shitty gut wrench suplex that the Samoan girl did, where she didn't get her over and they just fell on each other. There was whatever in the fuck happened to Penelope Ford that knocked her fucking senseless. Because if you watched her walk away from the ring, she was fucking out of it. I think you had already left by this time.
Yeah, because we left for that as that match was on. We wanted to see the Moxley match, but
it was the very next one.
Yeah. And he had to hurry up and get on the road to go sit.
Yeah, his intro was longer than the fucking match. It took him longer to get to the ring than the match was. But anyway, Penelope Ford match. She took some sort of shot. And when she left the ring, like, she was staggering around. Someone reached out to high-five her. And she was just like, like, it fucking scared her. Like, her arms went all crazy and she was all like, dodging away from them. It was weird, man. Like, her shit got fucked up somehow. And then lastly, the biggest botch of the night. And it was not one that was, purposely done. It was just an equipment malfunction. The massive fucking gash that Cash got on the turnbuckle hook.
Yeah, that was the worst one. It was just a freak accident. I tried to look
at
it. He just kind of like hit his arm on the turnbuckle and just sliced it open, and then they just had to kind of call the match with like a roll up or something like that. Yeah,
it was real fast after that. But I mean, fuck, he like went down and like clenching his arm immediately. When he stood back up, there was blood spray on his leg. So you knew that he took it fucking hard right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And like immediately, like he went over to the side and the doctors were coming out, everybody, and they were bringing out fucking tape and everything to tape him up. And that match was done fast. I have suspect the Pinnacle was still going to get the win on that one. But I think they just, like we said, they rushed the hell out of that finish. Because I expected that Proud and Powerful and FTR grudge match to go a little longer.
Yes.
But upshot with that match and the way it played out, I see them getting another one.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because I mean, it just due to unfortunate circumstances, it left a lot to be desired. There's still a lot of shit left on the table for those two teams. It's like there's so many things that I want to talk about last Wednesday, but I can't narrow it down enough. You know how you got so much to talk about, you get weird conversational ADD about it?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. I'm conflicted as to what I want to talk about next. Oh, I know. Getting to fucking see all of Death Triangle perform.
Yeah, that was good.
All of them. Because you missed it, I think. But later on, there was a tag match with Penta and Rey.
No, I think I saw it.
Did you see that? Okay, I thought that happened after you left. Either way, got to see a singles match with Pac. It was awesome. Then got to see a tag match with Penta and Rey. Fucking A.
Yeah, that was a dark match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Both of them were on dark, I believe. Or no.
You're right.
Yeah. Super stoked. Got to see another Moxley match. Last time I saw a Moxley match was when at the very first Dynamite where he threw Kenny through a glass table. This time he just crushed the shit out of some jobber. I was super happy about the lineup from start to finish Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Seeing all the dark matches that there were, I can't think of any of them that sucked, really. I mean, there's only one that I don't really give a shit that I missed, and that was the Red Velvet match.
Yeah, whatever.
I got to see Layla Hirsch wrestle. Awesome. She finally landed the goddamn moonsault.
Gotta get it at least once, right?
Yep, everybody gets one. I mean, just all things considered, it was one of the better live shows I've been to in a while, and I apologize for how all over the place we are with it. It was just really good. And, you know, Vince's comments of calling AEW a blood and guts show, I don't consider that an insult.
No, I mean, hell, they got a fucking pay-per-view called Flying Cuts.
Yeah. I consider that being, you know, a wrestling show that, while almost pushing it to the point of camp in terms of that, they put on a show that's more believable to me because there's fucking blood.
Yeah, there's just something about, you know, the match of fucking, like, cage match like they do without it being a cage match.
Yeah. And then the other part, what I think, from what I've heard, one of Vince's main reasons is he wants to make it an all-ages show. That's why he wants it the way it is. There were all ages at this show. And probably some of my favorite reactions were from the little girl behind us.
Oh, yeah, she was going off.
Like, during the Nick Gage and Jericho match, she's like, oh my God. I was like, she was enjoying the shit out of herself. I was like, this is great. And then there was a little dude with the Darby Allin action figure t-shirt in line.
That kid was so excited about Darby.
Yeah, he was. And then getting to see Darby and Sting come out. Getting to see Sting in person for the first time ever.
Oh my God. I told Logan I could die happy just at that moment. I was like, I don't even care he's not wrestling or anything. It's just the fact that my childhood hero, I've now gotten to see him in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even care. That's it. That's all I needed.
Yep. I was happy too. And, you know, I also like Bear Country. And it was, in my opinion, a good match.
It was a solid match.
Yeah.
I read something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too keen on it, but it is a good idea overall.
Mm-hmm.
But Bear Country and Bray Wyatt. I personally, and this is no offense to them because I do enjoy them, but for lack of better way of putting it, Bray Wyatt's better.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea. I think on paper it sounds good. But if it actually happened, I'd be very upset.
They bury the Bear Boys quick.
Yeah, so, yeah, it'd be good at first, and then it's like, okay, well, that's done, and then break them up in like 2 months.
Yeah, if AEW did throw the money at Bray, the only person I see them putting him with is Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally think that's a bit too on the nose.
Yeah.
I would like to see Bray branch out from the supernatural characters and try something new if he came to AEW, but, you know, he'll have creative control. Just like, which we forgot to mention earlier, I believe we mentioned a while back when Black made his debut, one of his big things, he's going to get creative control of his character. He's going to have more fun with it. He's super stoked about that. It was cool seeing him come out and attack Cody again. So I can check off having seen Malachi Black, Tommy End, Aleister Black in person. So, check.
So, just to go ahead and put the asterisk there, no one has full creative control. They just get a say in it. And I know you know this. I'm just making sure.
Yeah. For clarity's sake, they don't have 100%. Let's give them 75.
They can have call and say finishes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But the buck stops with Tony. If Tony says no, that's not happening. It's not happening. But, you know, you can say, I don't want to lose that way. How about this is the way I go out?
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that he'd be okay with.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of character development, they get a lot more leeway.
Yes.
In terms of, like, cutting promos, they get a lot of creative leeway. They do have to run shit by Tony. If Tony doesn't think it's going to go over well on TV, he'll put the kibosh on it. But in the grand scheme of things, compared to WWE, it's like they have full control. Compared.
Yes.
They have a lot. That's why I'm going to give them a number of like 75% control. Because they have a lot of say. Tony's at 25% that makes or breaks it. But they have much, much more say. And I think that's one of the reasons why Brian is supposedly coming too. Like, the rumored contract things say that more say in his character and the matches he works and the programs he puts on with people and the ability to work where he wants to are why he's rumored to be signing with AEW. Same, more or less, I would assume the same would go for the aforementioned CM Punk signings too. Other things from Wednesday. One thing I nearly forgot that was super fun. Seeing Brian Cage tear a trombone in half and try to kick a hole in Ricky Starks.
Fucking destroyed the band.
Yeah, fucking smashed the bass drum over a dude's head, ripped the trombone in half, scared the pants off of Ricky Starks. I'm excited to see more or less face Cage back, and I wonder what sort of angle they're going to go with from there.
Yeah.
I hope, like I was saying before, and this winds up kind of bringing it back, I hope he challenges Ricky for the FTW belt and wins.
Yes, I agree.
And that takes that belt away from Team Taz. And it would just piss Taz off even more. Also, the Tower of Taz.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Okay, yeah.
I don't even get it. Unless it was like a grandstand, like a bandstand, something to put him up above everything. But it's just the strangest thing. I like the Team Taz thing starts, the Ricky celebration starts. I look to my right. There's Taz on a giant elevated podium.
I think it was all just, for the Ricky Starks celebration, just to add a little bit of flair to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, here he is on this big podium. Here's Ricky Starks, because someone up high will grab your attention.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But all things considered, I think they knocked it out of the park at that live show. I really do.
For sure. I was entertained the whole time, and if for 10% of the time they could get me to ignore the heat, they did a good job.
they did a good job of making me tolerate that fucking ungodly. It was. Mm-hmm. let's see. What do we have coming up? You remember any of the matches for tomorrow night?
Nope.
I had some. Oh,
just the Juventud and Jericho. That's really the main.
Oh yeah, we got Juvi and Jericho coming up tomorrow night, and then we also have Black and Cody.
There we go.
So those are the two biggies that I'm excited for seeing tomorrow.
Oh yeah. I might actually watch it because that match.
Oh yeah, that one right there has had a really good build, and I am super ready to see it go down. Super ready. But with that, I can't think of anything else to run with, man. I think we are about tapped out.
Yeah, I think I'm out.
Yeah. So, with that, I don't know how many coughs are going to come through on this one due to allergies and such, but I'll go ahead and apologize to everyone listening in advance. Hopefully, our conversational ADD during the AEW live segment didn't throw you off too much, but goddamn, there was so fucking much. I mean, we could have spent probably an hour just talking about the fucking bloodbath that was Jericho and Nick Gage.
Yes.
Easily.
But we know that would not be the most entertaining of conversations between
It'd get old pretty quick. I mean, if we had the full crew, it'd be something else. But with just the two of us, we got to hit the high notes, you know? So, with that, first, let's give a big shout out and thanks to our boy Falcon and the Polar, keeping our shit sounding fresh and hot and good, keeping our show the Krispy Kreme of podcasts and not the day old Dunkin'. And if you like Dunkin' more than Krispy Kreme, I feel for you. I'm sorry, but I will disparage Dunkin' at every chance I get because fuck them, they suck.
Yes.
The shit's as dry and stale.
Their coffee is terrible. I say it and I stand by it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, their donuts are always stale when I get them. Always. But
if you give me money, I'll say something else.
Let's just say Falcon keeps the hot and fresh light on for us to make us as good as Krispy Kreme. Anywho, we want to thank everyone for listening. Remember, go like us on all the shits. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. Listen to us. We're on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Music, Google Play, whatever the fuck it's called now. I think we're on Amazon too, if I remember correctly. I've set us up in so many fucking places. Whatever podcast player you use, search for us. We will be there unless it's fucking Pandora. Because again, I'll say it every time, fuck them. Their terms of use are absolute trash. Don't use it.
And if you tell your friends, remember to give yourself an out in case they hate us.
Also,
hey man, I heard this podcast. I think you might like it. Check it out. I mean, maybe you will. Maybe you won't.
No, if they hate us, they're not your fucking friends.
I wouldn't have any friends.
They're doppelgangers. They're pod people.
Go listen to Joe Rogan, pleb.
They'll fucking look at you like Donald Sutherland at the end of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He'll open his mouth and point, and you'll just hear that weird wail.
I bet they just hang out and watch WrestleMania YouTube videos. Or maybe even What Culture Wrestling. Hell, they probably just like fucking Sam. Why? Here's why.
But if anyone listening happens to be some sort of wrestling performer or pretty in the know with things, please hit us up. We would always love to get guests on to talk about shit. We're always open to the idea. Just hit us up. We'll see what we can do.
Yes.
We want to keep shit fresh for you. Well, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Be sure to tune in. And, Yeah. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.